Good evening, Podium Chasers. I hope you are all well. Welcome back to the show. And yes, you can see we are, for the second time this week, going to be at the very elegant track that is Kyalami in South Africa. Having a quick look at that on your screen at the moment. So, this is Friday, so this is the pure Sim Gear GT3 Fridays, round 6, obviously hosted by Formula Racing League as always. And it is the penultimate round, so things are probably going to get a little bit interesting tonight. Remember, we do have the AM class and we also have the Pro class on there as well. And just as that is doing that, 1 second everybody. Obviously, the computer decided just before we were going to come live, that it didn't want to play properly. So now we're in, we can make a couple of changes to that. So just give me 2 secs. There we go. Perfect. Okay, we're good to go. So format for this evening is the same as always. We are going to have a 60-minute race. So there'll be a 20-minute qualifying session. That will begin at 8 o'clock sharp. So we've got about 14 minutes left of free practice. As you can see on your screen, that rather beautiful Playboy Porsche there by Mark Vilheiner. Well, it always impresses me, that one. 20-minute qualifying session, 10 minutes for the AMs first, and then we'll have 10 minutes for the pros thereafter. That will set your grid positions. The beauty of it is there obviously are some really quick guys in the AM category who will probably be pros next season, and they usually mix it quite nicely. We will run through all the driver stats very, very shortly. We'll do a track walk before we get started, and in qualifying we'll do a full lap guide as well, as we do every time we go live. And that'll be the format for this evening. Now, you will remember on Tuesday, with it being the Super Sprint Series, there was no pit stops on Tuesday. But in the more prestigious, if you like, the longer event that is the GT3 Fridays, we do have one mandatory stop where we need to take tyres and I believe fuel as well. So that will make it very interesting in terms of how they're going to actually figure out their strategy and how they execute that. It's only a short pit stop window, it's only 10 minutes, so people are going to have to, they're going to have to make decisions, aren't they? So before we get going, let's just pop into the live chat and see who we've got in with us this evening. 4 in so far. Timmy, Mr. Young, hope you're well. Can you just please let me know what was the best time you got in that Ginetta around Donington, please? And for any of you that are wondering, we did have a one-off special on Wednesday evening. There was 25 Ginettas all going around Donington. It was epic. 2 25-minute races, one in the lights, one in the night time. And I didn't actually do comms for that. I know I said I was going to. You did actually see me out on track, which was a surprise. And yeah, the marshals were keeping a keen eye on me. Let's put it that way. But it was all good. It was actually a lot of fun. So let us just have a quick look at the stats for this evening. I'm sure Dal, we do have Dal, I think, is in the live steward room tonight, so good luck everybody. Hangman Dal is back with a vengeance. But if we have a look at these standings, do I need to post something out there? Let's have a look. No, not right now. Anyway, standings. So in the AM class, remember this is the penultimate round. In fact, whilst we're doing that, let me just change. Let's give you guys somebody to watch. Who should we have a look at? Let's have a look at Chica. Whilst we're going through the stats, let's have a look at Chica in his Lamborghini. And let's run through these stats and get them done so we all know where we stand. So in the AM class, Sergio Azario is still leading that in his Aston on 229 points. Alan Brown, aka Fresh Brizzle, is second. He's also in an Aston. He's on 203 points. DNF'd in the last race, unfortunately. So that gap is not massive. That championship is still on. Ryan Blanchett is currently third in the standings in his Audi on 168, and then Robbie Robster is fourth in his Ferrari on 137. Fabian Karma is in fifth place in his Porsche 133. Dewsbury is sixth on 127, and we know, if anyone's been watching over the last few weeks, he's new, fairly new to us as well. Indeed, Chica got bitten there by that tiger, lion, whatever he's got on the car, so we'll move off him, shall we? Let's get out with Eli's in the pit still. To Bovsek. Yeah, let's have a look at Simon in the number 100 Ferrari I bet he wanted 101. That's mine. That is mine. Anyway, where do we get to? So Dewsbury's in 6th on 127. Chris Jones, aka Smiley, 7th in his McLaren on 121 points. Ian Thompson, who we've just seen there on track in his Lamborghini, is currently 8th in the AM class on 105 points. Luke Gators 9th on 104. Christopher Gedman rounds out your top 10 in his Bentley on 101 points. Nick Stick is 11th in the McLaren on 92. Longdon is 12th in his McLaren on 88. And then we've got Guzikov is 13th, although he's got a DSQ, so he's not in anymore. Rowdy Burns is 14th in his Porsche on 71 points. Mark Vilhein is 15th in his Porsche on 68 points. And then we've got Glukowski 16th. He's been DSQ'd, so he's not in. Harry Goswell, wonder if Graham's going to be in tonight, is 17th in his McLaren on 56 points. Then we've got Neil Woodward in the 999 Porsche, 18th on 56 points. Pete Dean is 20th on 40 points. And then we've got Terry Williams on 36 points. Michael Herbert is 24th on 17, and everybody else has 0 points on there. So there is still opportunities for the top 3 to make some moves today. I did say earlier on in some of the social stuff, it's really important this evening, with it being the penultimate round. There's so much to play for, but everyone's got to be a bit careful. You don't want to be taking too many risks, although, you know, with high risk comes high reward. So again, it's just how do they balance that this evening? We'll find out in the pros. Let's have a little look, shall we? Alfie Barron's leading the championship in his McLaren on 202 points, closely followed by Chris Vining in his Honda on 196 points. So we've only got 6 points between these two. Alex Zakdal is third in his Honda on 147, so he's not a million miles behind those. Ido Kops is 4th in the BMW, 144 points. Pozniakov is 5th in his BMW on 131 points. Then we've got Polovchuk is 6th, surprise, surprise, in the BMW on 123 points, so that could change. Rock Kops is 7th in his Audi on 108 points. If you remember, Rock Kops and Ido Kops are actually cousins, and we know they've got a rather sizable bet on who finishes the best in this season. So Ido is winning that at the moment. Robin Taylor is 8th in his Vantage on 106 points, and then we've got Cogulo is 9th in the BMW on 102 points. Garby's 10th in his BMW on 97 points. Then we've got Delatour 11th in the Vantage on 92. Amir in his Ferrari is 12th on 88. You see the points are they're still pretty close, aren't they? The gaps are not massive between these guys. Simon Tobovsek, who we're currently watching at the moment, in his Ferrari is 13th on 86 points. Dave Goodway, aka Crazies, in his McLaren, he's on 85 points in 14th. Ranjbar has got a DSQ next to his name. Keddy's 16th in his Honda on 75 points. Koderman's DSQ'd. Milton Tomlinson Dennis is 18th on 56 points. Miladinovic is 19th in the Merc on 49 points, and then we've got Kamara's 20th on 41, Filipov 21st on 39, and then we've got Antonin Myers is 22nd on 32 points. Ivanov's DSQ'd. Volkov, now we all know Volkov, I've been talking about him for 2 weeks now, he's 24th on 13 points. Michael Race is not with us this evening. Traction Dave is in, I believe, this evening in 26th place on 7 points, and we have a guest. Eli Poe's decided to join us, which is great news because Eli's quick in his Vantage. So no points at the moment for Eli, but he is racing with us this evening. We like that, don't we? So Michael Firth, hi Coops, how's it going? Really well, Michael, really well. I hope you've had a good week, to be honest with you, and this evening should be quite entertaining. Stephen Young says, struggling with the setup, threw the towel in earlier with a horrid 137.3. It's okay. But, you know, when you first start out in these games, using these wheels and things can be quite difficult, especially when you have to coordinate with your feet as well. So, just keep at it. Maybe they'll teach it one day at a school out there. I'm joking. Timmy's my best mate, so don't think I'm just giving him stick for the sake of it. I am not, I promise you. So, right. We don't want that on there. No, we don't. We don't want Discord on that screen. So we've run through all of the driver standards, so you can all wake up now. Evidently that was important, but you know, we can all get back on board. Let's have a look at Brizzle in his Aston. And whilst we're looking at a fresh Brizzle, I think it's time to have a little bit. What we got left? 5 minutes. Yeah, let's do the track walk. So let's give everyone a bit more understanding about Kyalami. If you're not that familiar with the track, we did say on Tuesday, it does offer some good opportunities. I think it's quite a flowy track. You've got to get some good motion going, some good pace. You've got to be consistent. That will be key. And if you look on your screen now, we're just going through Sector 1, so down through the Kink, and then down into T1, which is Crowthorne, up through into Barbecue. Then we've got the long straight. You can see, so that's an opportunity there. Sunset is a really difficult right-hander. Into Clubhouse, again, quite a heavy braking zone in there. Through the S's, you've got to balance the car through there. Up towards Learcop, which is a really difficult sort of double apex left-hander. All the way down Mineshaft, and then into Crocodiles, which is a nice corner to get yourself set up. And then through Cheetah, which is the absolutely mind-blowing left-hander. You've got to be so brave through there. We'll have a look in a minute. And then through Ingway and back onto the start-finish straight. Now, we talk about Cheetah as a corner. Oh, we've got a pause there. Indeed we do. Okay, that's fine. I'm hoping this evening that we don't have any issues, because the last 2 streams that I've actually done, my OBS has decided to freeze and just kick me out, usually towards the end of the race, and then we've managed to get started again and cover the last 5 minutes, but that isn't really what we're after, is it? No, definitely not. So again, you can see we have a mixture of pros and AMs. How do we know that? As always, the driver numbers with the white backing are the pros, and the driver numbers with the red backing on your screen are the AMs. So we can figure that out. And as you can see, currently, Robin Taylor in his Aston is setting the quickest time in free practice with a 1:41.560. And Sergio Azario, 7th overall, but is currently leading the AM class. Pretty important, that one. But Alan Brown, if you remember, who is 2nd in the AM class, is currently the 2nd quickest AM on the track. So it's set up. It's set up very nicely indeed. Let's just run through, 3 minutes to go. Let's run through who we actually have in with us this evening. So Robin Taylor, obviously in the pro class. Rock Cops is pro. Zach Dow's in there as well. Then Polovchuk's racing tonight. Pozniakov is in there. Volkov, Sergio, Tobosek, Gardby's in. Alan Brown, Onischenko. That's a new one for me. Welcome, Alexander. Nice to see a new name in there. Blanchett's with us this evening. Dewsbury's in. Longdon. Thompson is also in. Filipov is in. Karner is in. Traction Dave is with us. Vilheiner is also in. Then we've got Eli Poe. Can't see those on the screen at the moment. Eli's in. Amir's racing with us tonight. Dave Goodway. Chris Vining. Really important race for Chris this evening, given the fact that Alfie's not racing. This is such an opportunity for Vining to pick up some really good points going into the last race of the season. Luke Gators in tonight, Edo Copps and Antonin Myers are all with us tonight. So that gives us a grand total so far of 27 individuals, which is always nice to see. Let's have a look at Rock Copps and his 23 Audi, just as we come towards the end of free practice. Again, remember, we will then move into the first part of qualifying, 10 minutes for the AMs and then 10 minutes for the pros. Any questions in the live chat, guys and girls? Brizakos, hi, I wish you some epic battle. Yeah, so do I. Thank you very much for the comment. Thank you very much. Who are you supporting this evening? Brizakos, we'll go with that. And Dow Coops, how you doing, my fellow? I'm not going to repeat what he's saying there. It's not very nice, Dow. I'm very well, thank you. Yes, thank you so much. Do you know what? I'm glad you're not coming to Donington, because I might push you down the hill with that comment. And he's now having a chat with Youngie. So we've got 11 watching at the moment. Good evening, guys and girls. We are coming towards the end of free practice. And once this is done, in about a minute's time, we will move into qualifying for this Formula Racing League Pure Sim Gear GT3 Friday, round 6, which is all good. By the way, if you have pressed like, thank you very much. If you haven't pressed like and you're watching right now, you know, what's it going to do? It's not going to hurt, is it? It takes half a second, really helps the channel, helps get FRL and all these fantastic drivers out to more individuals to watch, and hopefully then come and join us. So if you haven't pressed like, please do. If you're watching on Facebook Live and you're trying to chat away and stuff like that, and you're wondering why I'm not coming back, I don't look at the Facebook side of things, so please come on over to the YouTube channel and get involved in the live chat. No one will bite. Right. They don't... Okay. Oh, you're driving tonight. Oh, okay. So who are you? Who are you, Breezer? Who are you? I want to know. Right, anyway, we're pulling over, so we're just about to get started then in qualifying as Rock comes into the pits. In terms of track temperatures, etc., we have got obviously it's quite sunny, you would expect that. 28 ambient, 33 on track. Okay, a little smidge probably a little bit too warm. But let's move into qualifying. As we've got someone else just coming around. Who's that down there? Alex Zakdal in a 331 Honda, so he's just coming around to complete that lap. He's probably just got to pull over in a moment anyway, which is all good. 149. 149? Where are you, 149? Haha. Volkov, good lad. Good lad, mate.
Green light, go, go, go.
Right, good luck, buddy. You know I'm quite a big fan of yours since you've been in, so best of luck this evening. Right, qualifying is just about to start, and you know what we like to do, and I know who's come out there. That's going to be Fresh Brizzle. Alan Brown, 738 Aston, always tries to be first one out of the bag when it comes to qualifying, which is, yeah, that's fine. Right, let's change qualifying. We'll leave that there for now. That will change. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll have a look at the different relative timings between all these individuals. So obviously, if they're improving on their lap, you'll see on your screen that we'll have it will be green, and obviously if they're not improving, it will be red. So that's all good. I need to change that because it looks terrible on there. There we go. That's better. You won't disappoint me, mate. That's fine. Right, cheers, Dal. Glad that you popped in there. You kind man, you. Anyway, have fun in the live stewarding room. If anyone's watching that is driving, please be aware. Dow's not been around for a while. He may still be on medication, which may mean he presses a few buttons a little bit too quickly in terms of throwing out penalties. So, behave is all I'm going to say. Right, let's get on board with Brizzle. Let's have a bit of Aston time, shall we? Yes, please. Right, feast your ears on the dirty, thunderous sound that is the Aston Martin. Right, so we're coming up now towards... Right, watch this sausage curb. If you collect that sausage curb, you are in it for a world of pain. It doesn't matter what car you're in, because you're swinging through there at such high speed. As soon as you collect that curb, you are in... You're gone. You're going to be airborne. As Brizzle comes round to start his first flying lap. Okay, down into T1, hard on those brakes, get the car tucked in nicely, trailing, we're going to squeeze on that throttle, use all of the track on the outside. Again, it's really important you've got the setup right, you don't want to be touching that curb either, the sausage curb on the left, because again, it's just going to bounce the car across the track, and it's not going to end well, is it? Let's be honest. No, certainly not. Right, we'll do the full lap guide when we get into the pros. That's what we always do. We won't upset the apple cart. In the live chats, Amir's in. Hi. I don't know. The question is now, track condition is fast. Amir, I don't know, buddy. I don't set the track up. That'll be our good friend Keddy. So, I don't know. I don't know what it holds for us, my friend. We'll have to find out, won't we? But you got it. You can deal with it. It's no problem. Right, as we see Brizzle coming round towards... Where's he? He's coming down mineshaft now, isn't he? Yep, down mineshaft. Quick left-hander. Get the car across to the left-hand side. Prepare yourself for the braking zone into Crocodiles. Bounced on that curb a little bit there, didn't he? But the Aston, she's not too bad on curbs, so that shouldn't have upset her too much. Here we go, through Cheetah, swing it through there. You can see you've got to be close. You have to be close to the sausage curb to be able to maximise your angle of attack, if you like, through the corner. But risky, can be risky. As Brizzle crosses the line, what time's he going to set? He does a 1:43.432. So that is the first man over the line. I want to know where Sergio is. 3. Sergio's not come across yet, anyway. Vilhena. Okay, so we're looking at Blanchett at the moment in his number 5 Audi, but Vilhena just managed to go into provisional pole, but then Onischenko, he displaced him, and as you can see, Sergio and now Dewsbury. So the track's probably rubbing in as well. If Amir was saying that it's currently fast, obviously we've got more people out on there laying down parts of their tyres, which is quite nice of them, really, isn't it? So Dewsbury, he goes provisional pole with a 42.507. I have said before, Dewsbury is, what's happening with Gator? Oh dear, Luke Gator there in the 28 McLaren finds himself in a bit of a pickle. So let's go on board with Vilhena. Let's have a listen to that Porsche. Just hear, you could hear the throttle there, how he was having to really balance the throttle through that second part of the S's there on the way up towards Leocop here. Let's see how she handles through there. See what the steering inputs are like. Yeah, it's just feeling that back end rotate slightly. Nice. So Sergio is half a second up on his previous lap, as you can see. Onischenko, well, Sergio's lost a bit of time there. Onischenko's quarter of a second up, and we're on board of Vilhena at the moment. Was half a second up. Is half a second up. Wow, this could be pretty impressive. Blanchett's also half a second up as well. Go, go, go. Ooh, hold it. It's Ingwe on the brakes. Get the car trailed in. Go. Look at that. Nearly 8 tenths up. This is going to be a very interesting lap time. I think he's got to improve on that. He does. Goes potentially P2, which just shows how quick. Hey, Rock. Mr. Cops is in. Hope you're well, buddy. That just shows how much speed he was carrying in the first place from Sergio. Well, Sergio's just gone quicker, so him, Dewsbury and Vilhena, those guys are really looking quite impressive at the moment, aren't they? Yes, indeed they are. Let's have a look at how long we've got left of the session. Okay, about 4 minutes left of this session, so they'll get 2 more flyers in if that's what they want to do. As the Playboy Porsche goes flying by. Good. Right, let's have a look at Onischenko. We haven't checked him out yet. So, an all black Aston. You could say Mafia S. That could be some form of getaway car, really. Potentially. I don't know. Anyway, so Alexander Onischenko currently finds himself in 4th place, and he is, 8 tenths down at the moment in terms of provisional pole. You can see Sergio, Dewsbury and Vilhena are all not improving on their previous laps, but Onischenko is. Remember, I said he's about 8 tenths down. He's currently around 4 tenths up. Blanchett's in 5th. He's improving. Fresh Brizzle, Alan Brown in 6th. What's he? Half a second up. So at the moment, 143.4. That'll put him on a 42.9. So that would move him up the grid potentially to P4 if everything stays as is. You've got Longdon's in 7th. Luke Gators managed to... Has Luke put a time in yet? Because we saw him have an off. He did. He did a 44.515. So he's in the game. Then we've got Chica. Gedman's in the pits. And so is Fabian Karna. So any change? Dewsbury is currently up on his lap. Let's see what Onischenko can do. See if my calculations were correct. Well, he pushed it a little bit further, didn't he? So he ended up with a 42.540. Manages to move up to P3 potentially. And your man on the move at the moment is this guy Dewsbury in his McLaren. So what is he? 1.7 off. Ooh, and he's just gone quickest. Nice. Okay. So Dewsbury is a 10th, just over a 10th ahead of Sergio, as we're probably into our last flying lap at the moment. So game over to you. Go on, Sergio, your turn. Fantastic effort from all these guys so far. Got here just for the light. Wow, cheers, buddy. Well, I hope you pressed it. I assume you're looking to put Edo in his place again this evening. Is that the plan? Yeah, I'm sure it is, mate. Good luck. You'll be out on track soon. As Sergio, you can see he's really pushing, isn't he? In the Aston, just manages to dip a couple of tyres out onto the dirt there, which isn't going to help him too much. Currently 8 still with us. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So Aaron is provisional pole. We're watching Sergio at the moment. Remember, Sergio is leading the AM class currently, so he wants that pole position. Onischenko's great time from him, and he's also 3 tenths up again. Nice. Dewsbury's a 10th up as well. Adam Brown finds himself in 5th. Blanchett is 6th. Longdon is currently 7th. Luke Gator goes back into the pit, so he's not having a lot of luck at the moment, to be fair. Just a remark, Onischenko, emphasis on I, or Onischenko. Sorry. Onishenko. I'd do my best. I'd do my best, Volkov. That's all I'm saying. Don't beat a man. But anyway, 10 in now. So qualifying. So they will get one more in. Certainly those that are crossing the line at the moment. They've got 42 seconds to get another one across the line. So Sergio, this is his last effort. Onishenko, or Alexander, whatever you prefer, he's currently got himself up to P2. Fabulous. Dewsbury still holding the lead there. Blanchette's in the pit, so he's done. Vilhena is nearly 4 tenths. Well, he is over 4 tenths down, so he's not going to improve on that one. Alan Brown is slightly up in 6th place at the moment by a smidge, and that's going to fluctuate. He's now 1.5 tenths up. So if we have a look at the timing screen, let's see if that is going to make any difference to Brizzle. It would do indeed, because he's only 5 thousandths behind Vilhena. So, and Alan's lost time. David Keane has decided to come out. Well done, Keano. And he's currently in 8th place, but he's 8 tenths up. Ian Thompson, 1.5 seconds up on his one. And we will find that the pros will be coming out at the moment to come and join us. So we need to finish off this and then jump straight on board with the pros. And what's Sergio going to do? Does he have the pace in there? He's 1.5 up at the moment. What is he? He's 1.7 tenths down. So at this rate, he's just not going to get there. He will take 2nd place though. Now he's 2 tenths up. Alan Brown, look at that. What a fantastic lap. He's just gone P2 and then binned it, but that shows that he was giving it all, certainly. Well, it's all going on, isn't it? Right, here we go. So Sergio's going to come across the line. I'll get that one out in a moment. He's almost 1/4 second up. That should be good enough to take pole. Bosh, there we go. New fastest lap, 1:42.180. Dewsbury, is he up? No, he's in the pit. So well done, Sergio. He takes provisional pole in the AMS. Then we've got Dewsbury, Brown, Onishenko, Blanchett, Vilhena, Longdon, Thompson, King, Gator, and Gedman. That's where we are at the moment. So there's Gedman there. He's just coming round, isn't he? Yeah. Right, let us pick up Chris Vining. Again, we did say earlier on, obviously we'll run through the full lineup when the qualifying session is over. So these guys are just completing their first warm-up laps. They're moving on to a flyer. Right, let's get on board with Chris Vining. Really important qualifying session this for Chris, because he's only, I think, 6 points off Alfie Barron. So he knows he needs to deliver this evening. So into the first corner, which is of course Crowthorne. Hard on those brakes, get the car turned in, then we're going to squeeze on the throttle, move over to the left hand side. We're going to try and take some of the curb on the right, but not too much. Get her lined up, down on the brakes, into 2nd gear again, just kind of coasting through there. Squeeze the throttle, use the curb on the right hand side. You saw him get a snap of oversteer there. He's always saying Honda's trying to kill him. And then up we go towards Sunset, I believe. We're going to just back off. We don't have to down change. Now we can start squeezing the throttle on again to get us lined up nicely into Clubhouse Bend. Again, we're just waiting. We're just pausing up towards the S's. Where the curb's on the right hand side, that's when we're going to get on the brakes again. We can just pause. We don't have to downshift. The Aston can carry the Honda can carry the pace through quite nicely. And then up towards Learcock. So we're going to position the car nicely on the brakes, down into 2nd, get the car turned. We've got a double apex here, so we squeeze now. People have issues there. They get on the throttle a little bit too early, and obviously the back end's going to try and over-rotate on you. So that was nicely done by Chris there. Dan Mineshaft have been up towards Crocodiles on the left-hand side, looking for the 50 board just before that, on the brakes, down into 1st, get the car tucked in again. You've got to pause. You've got to have some patience on this track, really. It's not just fully gung-ho and then through Cheetah. Oh, you'd look at that steering wheel. Is that going to invalidate? If he kept that in, that was only just, and then into the last left-hander, which is Ingwe. Squeeze on that throttle and away we go onto the start-finish straight. Right, what kind of a lap time is Chris going to do for us? We shall have a look. He goes pole position with a 42 flat, which is only 1/10.5 quicker than Sergio. So I'm very, very positive there will be quicker times on their way through. So, and who's behind him there? Okay, so Simon Tabovsek in his Ferrari. Remember, he was watching him earlier, number 100 Ferrari. He goes provisional pole for a few seconds with a 41.917. But then Rock Cops, who's just been in the live chat, he goes provisional pole with a 141.650. So, you know, the track is constantly evolving. In terms of, it's gone up a little bit. It's gone up 1 degree ambient. It's up to 29, and track temp has actually gone up. What was it before? 34, wasn't it? So it's gone up to 36 now. So it is getting warmer. Right, in the live chat, just quickly, Dewsbury. Yeah, I know, Aaron. That was close, right? That was really good to watch, actually, mate. It was, yeah, that was impressive. Unlucky, we're going to have really good pace in that race, mate. So we'll see how that one gets on, buddy. Well done. Right, back in here. So let's have a look. Who else have we got out on here that we need to be looking at? That's in the championship. So Robin Taylor. I mean, Robin Taylor's actually, I think, over the last couple of seasons that I've had the pleasure of providing the commentary for these guys on PC, Robin Taylor has really improved. Not saying he was ever not a good driver, because he always has been, but he's certainly, you know, just having that opportunity to drive with us that often. And there are some rapid drivers here. He's really picked that pace up, and consistency more like. And there you go. I don't need to say any more about that. Robin Taylor goes provisional pole with a 141.420. So he is definitely trying to make a play. However, Rock Cops, it's doing it too fast for me, isn't it, really? Rock Cops, he now takes pole position back, so he fancies his chances today. Let's see what Volkov is up to. I have been singing his praises in the 149. Aston Martin has got very good pace, and in the last few races that I've watched him, he's had a very specific way of doing things. As Zach done in his Honda, he decides to put a rather quick lap in a 41.105. But Volkov in the races has kind of taken the first part of each race steadily, let's put it that way, and kind of feels his way in, and then he's just blistering for the rest of the race once he's settled down. Which may be because he's relatively new to Formula Racing League, so doesn't want to get into any skirmishes, obviously, and annoy anyone. And I said, thank you, yeah, beautiful livery. So we'll see. So Alex Zachdale, that was a fabulous time from him, wasn't it? Certainly was. Eli Poe. Come on, Eli. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look at Eli. Let's see what he can do. Is he chasing down there? Is that Amir? Nope, that's Tabovsek in the 100 Ferrari. That's too wide, Eli. That is going to be invalidated for sure. It's giving me a headache. I don't know about you guys. I'm rattling my brain around there. He is. It's a bit last minute entry, Eli. Literally pinged a message over in free practice saying, can I get involved? Why not? The more the merrier. Kino's in. Good evening, as is Mr. Brown. Hello to you, my friend. Hope you are all well. That was interesting watching that qualifying session. There's quite a lot on the line this evening, Brizzle. So you better get your head down if you want to challenge Sergio tonight. No pressure whatsoever. 10 watching at the moment. I'm expecting a lot of clicks down there, you know, with that thumbs up thing, which would be good. And if you're not subbed to the channel, consider it. There's loads of good stuff that happens on here. Once we're done with qualifying, we will look at a few other bits to do with FRL, actually, and what you can expect from us. So Zachdale's still pole position at the moment. He's slightly improving. Chris Vining is 2/10 up. Now, if he manages to do that, he will go provisional pole by about 0.04 of a second. So let's see if Chris and his Honda can pull that off. Now, remember, Zachdale's also in a Honda. Certainly seems to be a car of choice at the moment. 1.8... No, sorry. No, he's half there. He's taken Learcop really well there. Who else is improving? Amir's up on his time. Tabovsek is also up on his time. Then we've got Gardby's down in 15th. Ido hasn't set a time really by the look of it. Or if he has, he needs to be setting a quicker one. That's all I'm going to say on that front, to be fair. So Vining's lost some time through this particular sector. It was almost 2/10. It's now down to 0.5. But again, he's picking that time up through the braking zone of Ingwe. That's going to be close. What's he going to do? So 1 minute 20 left. They've just got to keep putting these laps in now. They have to just keep doing it. He He did a 1:41.305 on that last lap, which, well, that wasn't as quick as the lap he'd done previously. So your man on the move at the moment in terms of the timings is Tobovsek. Tobovsek is 3.5 tenths up at the moment, which is impressive. Let's see what our little Ferrari sounds like, shall we? You can see it's 4 tenths up now. Perfect section. Let's see how she is through Cheetah and Pray. That is alright. Into Ingwe, hard on those brakes. Get the car turned in. Scrub the speed off and go. 3.5 tenths. What's that going to do for him? It's going to move him up quite nicely. It's going to put him in the top 6. There you go. P5. Quick maths, Cooperman. Well done. Yeah, so Simon in his Ferrari proves that we don't have to have a Honda and BMW fest in there. And right, movers and shakers. Where are we at? So traction. What's traction doing? Well, let's get him as he crosses the line. Goes pole. No, no, he doesn't, does he? No. So traction's now going to settle that. Let's get involved with the McLaren as well. Why not? I've got to say, I do love the down change in the McLaren. It's very definitive, isn't it? I'm not going to start doing impressions on a McLaren. But, yeah, it is pretty good. So, traction, he's half second up on his previous lap time. And in front of him, on track in terms of the pros, you've got Dave Goodway, who's also a couple of tenths up, as is Gardby. So, we do have people trying to make a move. Qualifying is finished, essentially. Chris Vining, he's gone yellow and is in the pit. So Zach Dahl is currently on pole position. There's only a few out there that can potentially challenge that. Taylor is still out at the moment. Tobovsek is still out, and so is Eli. So we'll see what they can do. But traction is, wow, look, is almost a second up on his previous lap time. What was his previous lap time? That is the question. A 43.5. So if he's doing a 40, Dave, I tell you what, how Michael Race is going to be. Traction. How dare you do that to me? Right, anyway, so traction doesn't improve, let's put it that way. Let's have a look at Goodway in his 34 McLaren as he's just coming through Cheetahs there. So he's only a smidge up on his previous time. That's not going to move him anywhere. He needs a couple of tenths at least to gain a position, and he's just over a tenth. So I think he's going to be staying where he is for now. Correct. So there we have it. Qualifying is finished, ladies and gents. Amazing. So we've had the AMs out first, and then we've had the pros. Wow, your grid. That's going to look pretty good, I feel. Right, let's go back into there. And let's just have a little wait. So Zach Dahl is on pole position, closely followed by Chris Vining. Only 1.5 tenths in it between them. Rob Copps is 4th alongside Robin Taylor. Then we've got Tobovsek in his Ferrari's 5th. Eli is 6th, Volkov 7th, Amir qualified 8th, then we've got Polovchuk in 9th and Pozniakov in 10th. In 11th place we've got Sergio Osorio, which we know, he's pole for the AMS, and he lines up alongside Dewsbury, and that is going to be a Dewsbury battle. I can't help it, I'm really sorry. There was only 0.05 between them in the AM class. Myers is 13th in the Pro class, and then we've got Alan Brown currently P2 in the AM Championship. He starts 3rd on the grid in the AM class. Garby's 15th. Onishenko is 16th. Ido Kopp 17th. Blanchett 18th. Camara 19th. Vilheiner in 20th. And then we've got Dave Goodway in 21st. Longdon 22nd. Traction Dave. Wow, we know what happened to him in 23rd. Ian Thompson's 24th. David Keane is going to start in 25th place this evening. Luke Gator 26th. Kana will be 27th. Chris Gedman and Filipov are going to be 28th and 29th. So you can see we do have some pretty good... We've got some good numbers in tonight, I have to say that. Right, let's get out of this. Let's go. Just give me 1 second, guys and girls. Let me reset everything for you. Right, 1 second. Chris Gedman's in the live chat. Hello, Chris. How you doing, buddy? Are you hoping for a good result this evening? I did have a little watch last night, Chris, and you were, well, you were pretty busy, weren't you? You did quite a lot of racing last night for the testing, which was pretty cool. Let's change that. We want a relative... We want race gaps. Yep. Okay, pit stops. Let's put 1 in. Bing. Let's change that down there. Okay, pit stop's been put in. You can see that now has been added to your screen. Well, it will in a moment, anyway. Brown says, yes, I need to win and us to finish last. Well, I mean, I don't know how you're going to manufacture that. Well, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, none of us do we? But yeah, you just got to go for it, mate, and see what happens tonight. I'm sure you'll do well. Right, how long have we got? I'm not sure how long we've got in this, but whilst we're doing it, let's just have a quick look at what you can expect from Formula Racing if you're considering joining us. So on a Tuesdays, we have the Super Sprint Series, which is 8 o'clock UK time. That's two 25-minute sprint races split with two 10-minute qualifying sessions. No fuel, no tyres, no pit stops, just elbows out racing. It is always epic. I love Tuesdays. We've got the Rookies on a Thursday, again, 8 o'clock UK time. Brilliant breeding ground, if you like, proving ground for people that have just joined Formula Racing League or have just come across from console to PC. They can get involved and get to understand what it's like, the different tyre models, the physics, how people race. It's just a good opportunity for more seat time. And then we've got this one, the Pure Sim Gear GT3 Fridays, which is our 1 hour race with a mandatory stop. And yeah, always serves up some pretty good racing. Don't forget though, the reason why we all do this, we all want to do endurance racing, and we do that once a month on the Saturday at 1:30. Lots of different types of races. So we've got 2 hour races, 5-6 hour races, 8 hour races, and I keep saying it, on the 19th of November we have the 24 hours of Spa. So that is pretty good. And then let's give a shout out to our patrons as the formation lap's just begun. Again, we say this all the time. This wouldn't be possible without everybody that does support Formula Racing League, and we really appreciate that. And you know, goes a long way to having servers available across PS4, PS5, PC. Having people doing live streams, live commentary, people in the background that work tirelessly on the website, the admin. It's endless. Yeah, it's like a really busy ant's nest, really, with James being the queen. Couldn't resist that one, really. Right, anyway, let's get back into the main screen for everybody. He's going to love that. I know he's sitting at home tonight. He's not racing. He was looking forward to having a night off, and he's got a night off, so he will like that one. Right, let's get on Helicam. So you can see we do have a little bit of a mix there. Azorio and Dewsbury are mixing it in with the pros. Onishenko, that's impressive from him, and Alan Brown. So those guys, not only are they battling each other, they've got to be also battling against, you would assume, quicker drivers. You assume. Not always the case, but you never know. Right, we've still got 10 in at the moment, which is absolutely fabulous. So we're just coming around. You can see now on your screen you've got that lovely sort of golden one in between the name and the driver number, and evidently that means that they have one pit stop to complete. When they've been in and done that stop, that will go green, and that will tell us all that they are good to go until the end of the race. So you all understand perfectly what is going on and what the format is. Is that there, is it? Oh, it is there. Well, I didn't post that out where I needed to, did I? Nope. Okay, where we're coming down. Right, we're coming up towards... Okay, crocodiles. Right, ladies and gents, they've done the formation up. They've got the heat cycles through their tyres, through their brakes. Hopefully, everything will be prepared now in terms of the tyre pressures. Hopefully, they're going to be in that window as to the brakes. And now they all form up 2 by 2. We know what's going to happen very, very shortly. We're going to be green, and that's going to be a full 60 minutes of racing, which I am very, very much looking forward to. So let's make sure we're ready to move. Let's hope it's a clean one. Look at all those beautiful GT3 cars and their gorgeous liveries. Through Ingwe we go. Zach Dow seems pretty keen, doesn't he? He seems keen. I don't blame him. We're currently watching Chris Vining. Okay, approaching the start-finish line. This is the Pure Sim Gear GT3 Fridays, round 6 at Kyalami. The penultimate round of the season. A lot to play for. And we are green. We are go, go, go. So off we go, ploughing down through the kink. Oh, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 abreast there. And let's see what happens with this. Let's hope it's all clean. Well, we've got someone that looks like a mare taking a bit of a wide line as we're going through Crowfall there. Robin Taylor in that black and white Aston. He's got a good move done. There is contact behind. There is contact behind. Who was that? Polovchuk? No, well, Polovchuk's definitely been in the wars, because you can see the front left of that BMW is a bit scuffed there. Anyway, the race continues. So Polovchuk and Eli looks like they've come together, and they're still together, which is great. Any other big moves, positional gains? Let me have a look at that for you all. So Poznikov has moved up 4 places, as has Antonin Myers. He's managed to put himself up to 10th from 13th. Volkov has dropped from 7th down to 11th place, unfortunately, so he's got some work to do. Dave Goodway's qualified 21st, remember, and he's moved up the grid up to 15th. So Dewsbury's falling down the grid. I think Dewsbury's had an issue. Let's get on board. So Dewsbury, the Red Kings Motorsport driver, you can see that in his livery. He's got Vilhena and the Playboy Porsche just behind him. They're all nicely packed up together, aren't they? So, no real issues at the front. Let's just quickly have a look at that. So, Zach Daly's still leading. We've got Chris Vine in there in 2nd place. Robin Taylor's moved up to 3rd, which is good for him. And then we've got Rock Cops 4th, closely followed by Tobovsek. And we know he did have some good pace in that Ferrari, so he started very nicely indeed. Pozniakov in the 87 BMW is 6th. Then we've got Eli Poe just behind him. And Polovchuk, wow, Polovchuk, he seems to be going for it, doesn't he? So, let's get on board with him. Let's have a quick look and see what's going on. Eli and Pozniakov. I have a feeling those two are going to be buddies for the whole race. It just feels that way. And Polovchuk, well, he wants to get involved as well. All over the back of that Aston Martin. Absolutely fabulous. So Pozniakov and Eli, they're holding station at the moment. There's only 0.3 between them, and we're on board with Polovchuk. He's only 0.3 behind as well. We've got a gap back to Sergio of 1.3 seconds on those brakes. Let's see who's carrying the speed through. And then we've got Volkov's moved his way now up to 10th, so he's going to join this party, I'd say, in probably a couple of laps' time, because, well, he's only half a second behind Sergio. He does seem to have some decent racecraft. And Myers is in 11th place. Garby's 12th. Cops 13th. Goodway's got himself up to 14th. Then we've got Alan Brown. So, in terms of the AM class, just to keep you guys abreast of what's going on, Sergio's leading that is in 9th position. He's the car behind us at the moment. So, let's actually move and have a look at that. So, there's Sergio here in the Aston. And Alan Brown, who's 2nd in the championship, is currently 2nd in the AM class, but he's down in 15th at the moment, as Volkov, in his Aston Martin, looks to start to apply the pressure. We've got some dust, some big dust being kicked up there. So again, that's probably someone just maybe catching that sausage curb on the way through Cheetahs, as Chris Vine puts in a new fastest lap. And look at that, Sergio went a little bit wide through Ingwe, and Volkov was thinking, right, he really got on the power quickly there, didn't he? Robin Taylor just goes quickest with a 142 flat as Volkov moves out. Is he going to make a move? He's going to get hard on the brakes there. Who is... Oh, and we've got contact. That was Eli, and Pozniakov just had contact, unfortunately. And you can see Volkov has also made that move stick. So, Volkov with a great pass there. And then who we got back there? Myers and Guardby. We've got some great action going on at the moment. Got to say that. Right, let's see what's going on. So, we are on board with Polovchuk, who, remember, just had that issue a short while ago, so he's now down into 9th place. And wow, and Myers nearly wow, I mean, he really stuck his nose out there, didn't he? I thought there was going to be a move done, but there isn't, because Myers, well, he's got problems himself, because he's in the middle of this train. And this is the beauty, this is one of the things I really love about Kyalami. I said at the top of the show, you've got to have good flow, you've got to have good consistency here, and I think you can quite easily get into that rhythm, as Myers is doing pretty well, isn't he, actually? Let's see what's going on with him. So we'll have a look back. So Myers looking back at Guardby. Now, Guardby is a fantastic driver. Really great driver in that BMW. Ultra consistent. Oh, as I say that, I kill him. Sorry, Guardby. Anyway, fantastic driver, but he comes back on track, which is okay. Through Cheetahs we go. Did you see? We saw that. Polovchuk. Let's see if we can get a replay. No, it's going to freeze on me. Let's see. Oh, no, it doesn't. Look, we can watch him go through. He's got to click that sausage curb. We were talking about that earlier on. Ping. And look at that, throws him straight off into the dirt. Absolutely no mercy whatsoever. As Chris Vining does a quickest lap of the race on 1:41.885, so he's looking to assert some pressure at the front on Alex Zakdal. There's only a second between them. Taylor's still third, 1.3 down the road. Then we've got Rock Copsey still in fourth. Turbosek still in fifth. Eli's up into sixth. And Volkov, look at that. I mean, we saw him tumble down the timesheets earlier on in the race. He's got himself back up to seventh already, and he's only a second behind Eli. He's good. He's good. Can't deny that. Anyway, so Volkov, we'll have a look at this angle. He's chasing down Eli Poe in his Aston Martin there. Sergio Osorio, still leading the AM class, is currently 8th, 1.8 down the road as we go into the S's. I'm just having a listen, just listening to what those inputs are. Myers is 9th in his Lambo. Polovchuk's 10th. Edo pops up to 11th. Traction Dave, wow. Come on, let's have a look at this. We saw what Traction did in qualifying, and he now finds himself in the mix. He's got himself up to 12th, which is fantastic. Aaron Dewsbury, who's obviously in the AM class, remember, he's also in a McLaren, so these two are having a pretty good fight. I'd be interested to see Michael Races is supporting tonight, because he runs Red Kings Motorsport, which is obviously the red McLaren behind Traction's, but Traction's his best mate. So obviously he's probably going to want Dewsbury to win. That's what I think. Alan Brown finds himself in 15th place, and between Alan Brown and Dewsbury, we've got Pozniakov in the BMW, who unfortunately got involved in that incident earlier on. Blanchette's up to 16th, and we've got someone off there. That might have been Blanchette, because it was an Audi. It was indeed Blanchette, so he rejoins. He had a little out in there over at Cheetahs, so he rejoins in 18th place behind Goodway, but just in front of Alexander Onishenko in the 86 Aston Martin. Remember the getaway car that I said earlier on. Longden finds himself in 20th. Gators 21st. Camara's 22nd. He's pretty close as well. And then we've got Amir 23rd. Kino's 24th. Gedman 25th. Filipov and Thompson. Wow, Karna's 28th, and Garby is, well, now down in 29th. That is really unfortunate for him, I have to say. But what do we take from this? Yeah, it all looks quite, well, it all looks quite simple now, doesn't it? You know, we've got everyone's in a bit of a train, everyone's driving nicely. I say this all the time, and just from what I did on Wednesday, yes, they are all in a train, but they're all that close together. Dewsbury on Traction's looking a bit tasty again. They're all that close together. The amount of concentration they need is huge. And I mean, absolutely massive. Let's have a look. Let's have a watch. So remember, Dewsbury's absolutely rapid. Pozniakov, we saw, was further up the grid. Alan Brown isn't too far behind there. He's the third car further back, just coming round as we go down Mineshaft. I'm saying the concentration that all of these guys need to show and have is just massive, and we're only 8.5 minutes into this race, remember. It's difficult. Right, we're also watching this. Chris Vining again goes a bit quicker, 41.790. Traction nearly had a little nibble on that sausage curve there, didn't he? Very, very nearly. We're also doing that. Let's have a quick pop in the live chat. Let's have a look. Skaz is in. Hello, Skaz. Good. I'm glad you're enjoying the race, mate. I hope you're well. Hope you're having a good evening. Let me know who you want to win. JR's in the BMW gang. No, I'm not cursing them, JR. He's just, you know, I wanted to break it up a little bit, but hope you have a good day, mate. Yeah, beautiful song from the Aston. Go on, Traction Dave. Wow. We're now having a look at Traction Dave's bottom, aren't we, to some degree. Technical issues in the live stewarding, guys. If you can, please submit post-race ticket, says Dow. Okay, you all heard it. You all heard him. You heard me pass that message on. So Dow can't be bothered and he's turned his computer off. Basically, anyone in RKM, it's all good, Skaz. I get it. Well, we're watching one of those at the moment. In Dewsbury, he's putting the pressure on, and Alan Brown, you can see, is really closing up onto the back of Pozniakov as well, isn't he? So we've got to see how that one develops. Remember, Alan Brown needs a win this evening. This is the penultimate round. He needs a win to keep that championship alive, because if Sergio wins, it's done. And obviously, we've got Dewsbury in between them, so it's got to be difficult. Anyway, 12 of you in so far, which is absolutely fantastic. Right, let's see. Let's go back up to the top. Let's just have a quick look. So Honda versus Honda, potentially the OP car at the moment. It's Chris Vining again. He is slowly but surely reading Zach Dell in. I think that's the that's the 4th quickest lap he has set. Not in succession, but probably over the course of 5 laps, he's improved each time. So he's now 0.7 behind Zach Dell. You've got to think we're now 10.5 minutes into the race. Did anyone go too hard? Warren, you saw Zach Dell getting all out of shape there. You definitely saw that. So maybe Chris is pushing him just hard enough. And I believe that will be what's happening here. Chris is pushing him just hard enough so that Alex is really, really making those tyres work. You can see he is not comfortable. The last 3 corners, Alex, you can see, is getting slightly out of shape. Maybe that's his driving style. Maybe he likes to drive a little more loosely. But Chris is pushing him, and you can see in the background, you caught that in the background there, Robin Taylor in his Aston, he is not far away either. So nothing is for certain at the moment, as we see Volkov's only 0.3 behind Eli in the battle for 6th place. I'm sure that is going to develop, but I'm not going to come off this one, guys and girls. Not when it's a battle for the lead. So on board with Zach Dell, let's just watch his steering wheel. Let's see what those inputs are like. Let's see if we think he's inducing the car to do those things, or whether it's potentially a tyre issue there. So let's just have a watch and a listen for a moment. Wow, it's so close. I mean, okay, you're going to get a concertina effect in a braking zone, we know that, but you saw that. We might not, because my head just put, oh yeah, on the screen, my head's in the way. Sorry about that. But Vining got rather close there, didn't he? So let's change our camera. And we had a nice little pop of flames there as well out the back of the Honda. So these two are moving at quite considerable pace, aren't they? But Robin Taylor's keeping them honest. He's only 2 seconds down the road. Rob Cox is also further 2 seconds back. Seems to be a theme at the moment. To Bob's second is Ferrari. He's also 2.2 seconds back. And then we've got Volkov. We need to get on with Volkov, really, don't we? Because this is a close fight, this one. So Eli in 6th place. He's in an Aston, and so is Konstantin Volkov. He's in 7th place at the moment. Remember, he had an issue earlier on in the race and lost a few places, and has been consistently moving his way up through the field. However, there's quite a big caveat in this, and that's Eli, because Eli's massively rapid, really consistent driver. He's probably going to crash now, but he always delivers, normally always at the sharp end of the grid. So I actually think this battle is going to be, you know what I'm going to say, epic. But we've got Sergio and Antonin. Well, those two are running. Oh, steady. How close do you want it? How close do you want it? Fabulous racing from these two. Let's have a look up top. I don't like that angle, that Kyalami, to be honest with you. Leicester has a good angle, isn't it? As they go flying through up towards Crocodiles. Look at them dicing everywhere. Volkov's just showing his nose there. Eli, make sure he gets wide enough so he can take his line, but obviously to keep some form of defensive momentum in there as they come up through Cheetah. And Volkov's not going to make a move through there. Chris Vining's got the move done on Zachdow, so that move actually did happen. Let's see if we can see that on a replay, or if we just miss it. No, we missed it. So that may have taken place up through Crocodiles, because it wouldn't have been through Cheetah. Not at all. Anyway, back to these two having their scrap. And you can see Volkov. No, I don't want them. I want these guys at the moment. Chris Vining and Zachdow, there's nothing between them, is there? 0.7, but these guys are even closer. Brilliant. Absolutely love it. Right, let's have some Aston time. Oh, and a move there. Oh, and that's caused him to go wide. You can see Eli's had to go wide, and Volkov, he switches himself back, so he's going to take the shortest line from what that situation was. He's now on the inside line and manages to get that move done. Now is Eli going to try a break and move back down into the braking zone? Volkov moves over to take the racing line. Eli definitely thought about that. So the hunter becomes the hunted. And we'll see how that one develops. Great racing so far. We're only 15 minutes in. I love Fridays. Have to love it. It's awesome action. Azario still in 8th place at the moment. It's 5 seconds behind these guys and their epic battle. But he'll be quite happy because he's winning the championship. But he's got Myers in his Lamborghini, who's only 0.8 behind him. Polovchuk's still in there in his Beamer in 10th. And then Edo Kopp's 11th. Dewsbury's P2 in the AMS. He's in 12th. Traction Dave 13th. So that move was done. Ooh, Michael will be celebrating that one. Poznikov 14th, Alan Brown in 15th, 3rd in class, which is great being on the podium in class, but he needs to be higher and he's got what, 4, 5, 6, 6.5 seconds to get to Dewsbury, and a massive 7, 8, 9 odd seconds to get back to Sergio. So this could be a difficult one. Maybe he needs a bit of help from somewhere else. Anyway, so let's have a look a bit further down the grid. Don't get me wrong, these guys are all giving us absolutely brilliant racing, which we love to watch, but we have to, as I always try, to give everybody. Let's have a listen to the Lambo. So we've got Myers on Sergio into Crowthorne. Let's listen to the howl. Yes, Del, I am aware that my head is always in the way, yeah, when we have that type of view. But it's a bit tough, isn't it, really? Because that's just the way it is, okay? I do apologise. We could tie him up, get the rest of you... Yeah, I know. We do want Del back on track. Definitely do. Oh, we've got... Wow, you saw... I tell you what, Sergio did well to hang on to the Aston there. He was all out of shape, and you can see the massive overdrive that Myers has now got as we go through Learcott, but Sergio holds the inside line, so he's going to manage to defend that, which is pretty good for him. That's just allowing Polovchuk and Edo Kops, the two cars behind, just to slowly get up onto the back of these two. So great fighting as usual. When he's gone for another move, we're going to have contact. Oh, I really thought, wow, that was a brave move there. Myers set himself up nicely there, and he went for it. Chris Farnham with another quickest lap of the race, a 1:41.647 as we go through Cheetahs. These guys are having a brilliant battle, and the two behind have now closed right up onto the back of them. So we've got, what, 0.8, 1.6. We've probably got about 2 seconds separating these four, which is exactly what we want to see. And I'm turning my headset up too loud there. Sorry about that. Right, so we'll keep an eye on this. Let's see, where else are we close? Dave Goodway. Let's have a look at that. Dave Goodway coming up to the back of Mark Vilhine, having his Playboy Porsche. Let's see if Dave can get a move on. Into the braking zone. Down into Crowthorne. He's got a good drive out of there. He has got a good drive out of there, but Vilhine has gone defensive and just can't hold on to that position. So traction. Traction. I'm thinking of all these Daves. Crazy is Dave Goodway puts that McLaren up into P17. Let's see if he can now start to chase down Alexander Onishenko. It looks like Myers has made that move for 8th place on Sergio. That has been done. So now Sergio's got Polovchuk 0.2 behind and Edo Kops. Wow. This is getting pretty tasty, isn't it? It certainly is. Look at this. Look at these guys. Absolutely nose to tail. There's nothing to choose between them. Sergio finds himself in a bit of a difficult position now, because he's probably spent that much time having that great battle with Myers that he's now, well, he's probably a bit spent from that, really. And now he's got Polovchuk all over the back of him. He sticks his nose out, thinks about having to go into Crocodiles. That's not going to happen there. But Polovchuk's also got to keep Edo behind him as well. And Edo's moving all around in that green BMW. He's trying to put him off. So we've got two individuals in this sandwich. You've got Sergio and Polovchuk. They are definitely having the hardest time out of these four. There's no doubt about that. Dewsbury's still in 12th place. He's 3.3 seconds behind. If they all keep fighting like this, I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron closes up onto the back of these guys pretty soon. And there you go, look at that. So Edo pulls out, thought about trying to get a move done into Crowthorns, but it just wasn't happening. Polovchuk defended that very, very well. Look out, January. Yes. Good, Dal. We want to see you out there, buddy. We really do. It's, I want to commentate on you. You know, give back all the kindness you give me every Tuesday, Friday, anytime, really. It'd be a pleasure. Right, so Edo, let's get on board of Edo. This is for JR, as JR's a BMW guy. JR can get some tips, can't he? Maybe. Right, further down the grid. Where do we have decent gaps? So Dewsbury did say he's going to catch up. He's closed that gap down by a second. It's now was 2.3, it's now 2.5. So he is slowly closing these guys down. So it would appear that Sergio was a little bit of a cork in the bottle there, because Anthony Myers, as you can see in 8th place, he's pulled a 1.2 second gap out on him at the moment, and then Sergio has pulled out a similar gap on Polovchuk in front. So your man now who's under pressure is Polovchuk, because he's going to be kicking himself that he's lost a little bit of time. Oh, and he's taken that curb. Oh dear, Cheetah bites again. Cheetah bites again. Just took a little bit too much there, bounced him off the track, and that's allowed Ido to get that move done and moves himself up into the top 10. Pozniakov is falling down the timing screens there, so he's evidently had an issue, which is a shame. So Dewsbury's up into 12th, 2 seconds behind. You can see that RKM McLaren just closing up onto the back of Polovchuk at the moment. Slowly but surely that is happening. Traction Dave is behind him, and then we've got Alan Brown, Onishenko, Goodway, Vilheiner still on the back of Dave Goodway. It's only 1.3 seconds, and then Amir's in 18th. Filipov is in 19th. Blanchett is down in 20th. So let's move down the grid. Let's have a look at Kino. We know there's a good battle going on there, but I want to give everyone some time. So Kino. Kino is the definition of a gentleman driver. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, that's, think about what that means in terms of the history of GT racing. Kino is the definition of that. Yeah. He's 85 years old, and he has people pressing the pedals for him, which is really cool. And he's going to shoot me at Donington for saying that. He's probably listening and swearing, that's why he went off track. But anyway, Kino's in 21st place. Blanchett's in front of him, as you can see there in the Audi, and they're chasing down Filipov. So behind Kino, we've got Christopher Gedman. Christopher Gedman, everyone will know Chris. Absolute stalwart within FRL. Does a huge amount of work behind the scenes. Gets his fame on the podcast. I think he's been offered a movie role. I think they're doing a new Lord of the Rings or something like that, and I think he's been offered a starring role in that. I'm not saying what his part is, but no, he's a great guy, is Chris, and I'm looking forward to seeing him at Donington as well. So he's running in 22nd at the moment, which is not too shabby, Chris. Not too shabby. Behind him, we've got the other Playboy. Look at that. Maximilian Camara in the 71 Ferrari. Oh, definitely getting a bit of a slide on there. He's got a loose back end on that Ferrari without a doubt. And then just behind him you can see Ian Thompson in the 55 Lamborghini. As I move coming here, Chris goes deep into Ingwe, and that's allowed Camara, literally, he got a good drive out of there, didn't he? And that's put him in a good position through the kink. Christopher Gedman is trying to come back at him and run down into Crowthorne. We're going to have a lunge under the brakes. They're both heavy on the brakes. It's never really going to happen there. It wasn't quite close enough, and Camara sees off that particular attack. Now, Chris has got to think, yes, he wants to get that Playboy, but he's got a fellow Scotsman and childhood friend, I believe, in terms of Chica, who's closing up rapidly. Those two don't want to have a coming together, otherwise there's going to be trouble. Then we've got Longdon, who's running in 25th there. Kana in his Porsche is running 26th, and Pozniakov and Gardby are in the pits. I'm assuming that means race done for those two. Back at the top of the field, Chris Vining again, still holds quickest lap of the race, I should say, with a 1:41.497. He's now built a 2.5 second gap back to that Formula Racing League liveried Honda of Alex Zakdal, as you can see. He's gapped Taylor by 3 seconds as well. So Rob Taylor, wow, no he hasn't, because Rob Taylor and Rob Cox have just swapped positions, and they're at it, aren't they? Fantastic. So, and look at that, Tabovsek is right in there as well. Feast, guys. Brilliant stuff. So we're looking back now from Rock Cops, who's got himself up onto the podium. Fantastic for him. Not fantastic for Robin Taylor in the Aston, so he's trying to come back at him, but he's got to be wary that Tabovsek is there as well. And these three all had really, really similar qualifying times, so we know in terms of pace they're pretty much exactly the same. So it's just going to be who can outwit the other person, keep that car on track, not make the mistakes. Oh, and then we say mistakes as Cops does make a mistake, and that's going to allow down the outside. Taylor wants to go down the outside. If you could just keep that momentum. He's got on the power there. Pit window is open. I've just had that message in my ear. I'm sure you guys have heard that as well. Brought to you by Timmy Blunder Radio. And yeah, Oh my word, how close did you want that? Seriously guys, there was that in between them. How did they not have contact then as they come through? Crocodiles, absolutely astonishing driving. You can see the white Aston in your background is Volkov, who he is going to join this party, and when he does, well, Taylor says, right, I'm getting out of this fight. I want to get in the pits and get some new rubber on and just try and get some clean air when I get back out. Moreover, I'd like a little breather for 30 seconds, please. So that may be a smart move by him. Eli goes into the pits as well. So we've got 2 in the pits. Tabovsek is putting on. Oh, Tabovsek makes the move. So, COMMS made an error there. Going into Crowthorne's probably got a little bit deep on the brakes, I feel. And that allowed our man Simon here in the 100 Ferrari to take full advantage of that. And he does move himself up onto the podium. So we've got fantastic racing going on here. I hope you guys in the live chat concur. Let's have a quick look at what's going on in there whilst we keep an eye on this battle. Doing well. Claire, did you not know that? Has he not told? Did he show you his fake driving license again, which showed you like 53? I'm guessing. I bet he did, didn't he? No, it's 85. Yeah, he told me. It's not Lord of the Rings. No, Dad, it's not Princess in the Hole. I don't even know what that film is, to be fair. I don't think I want to. Well, again, who knows? It's all a bit of fun, isn't it? So, but hiya, Claire. Hope you're well. Glad to see you joining us. Glad to see you seeing Mr. Keno going through all this trouble at the moment, and he is going through it. He's going through it at the moment. I feel for him. Anyway, so Tabovsek in 3rd place. He's now put a second back to COMMS. And I want to have a look. Let's go with COMMS and let's do... Volkov. Right, so who else jumped in the pit? Zach Dow pits from 2nd place. So he's had enough of those tyres as well. So... we've got 3.3 seconds. We've got quite a few people coming out of the pits there. Oh, is it? Is that Pozniakov? It may be. We'll see how that one plans out in a moment. So, Volkov finds himself in the middle of a scrap between these 2 individuals that have just come back out of the pits. So that's got to be Taylor's out, Poe's out, Filipov's out. Amir has come out already. We're just going to have to wait and see how this shakes out. Now, we normally do like to put some graphics up on the screen. So, Zach Dow's gone green. Vilhein is in the pits as well. Brizzle's in the pits. Crazies is in the pits. Keno's in the pits. Well, everyone's getting their pit stops done, aren't they? Remember, it's only a 10-minute pit window, so you can't spend forever thinking about this. And we did have a situation last week where Neil Woodward at Spa, he missed the pit window. I think it was like 5 seconds when the pit window closed, and he was absolutely gutted because he was actually doing really well in that race. I did feel for him, which is a good question, actually. Where is he? He was in earlier on. Perhaps he must have got disconnected. That's a shame. That is a shame, isn't it? So Chris Vine is still leading this race. It's a bit of hydration there. Sorry about that. Right, so that's Amir getting out of the way, isn't it? So blue flags are in force at the moment. So Zakdal, Taylor, Poe, Traction's out the pits. Vilhein is out the pits. So is Goodway Brown. Filipov is coming out the pits now. So is Amir. Keno. What's happened to Keno? That's just gone yellow. No, that was just him coming out of the pit lane. It's just letting me know. So he rejoins in 22nd place. That's not bad. He's 1.8 off Blanchard. He's... oh no. He doesn't want to get involved. I thought Keno was going to get into a battle there, but no, he's just decided to come out. I think he's probably warming those tyres up a bit more. Well, that's okay. And then we've got Gedman there in 24th. Thompson still in 25th. And Longdon in 26th. So we're going to see Chris Vining's got to be coming in pretty soon. What have we got left? We've got 4, so he's probably got about 5 minutes left of the pit window. As Robin Taylor, who was first guy to pit, remember, he now does quickest lap of the race at 1:41.487. So that could have been a good option for him. And look, he finds himself only a second only a second behind Zach Dow. Now remember, Zach Dow was, you know, leading this race for a long time. Found himself into second place. But that has been an impressive pit stop from Robin Taylor. I think he's been quite smart there, because he's now only a second behind him. He was 3.3, I do believe, before the pit stop. So he's evidently had A, a good pit stop, but B, that undercut seems to have worked quite nicely in terms of clawing back more time. Eli, wow, Eli's had a fantastic pit stop, finds himself just behind those two. And who's pitting? Vining's in the pits, Tobovsek's in the pits. So Rock COMMS decides he wants a little bit of stardom at the front of the grid, so let's give him that. There he is. There is your new race leader at the moment. Volkov finds himself in second. Volkov's only 3.8 behind. I think that gap's grown by a smidge. I think it was about 3.3 earlier on. So Rock COMMS is, you know, finding some good pace in there. Sergio finds himself in third, but obviously that won't last because he needs to do his pit stop. So Tobovsek, Vining and Myers are in the pits. 28.5 minutes left of this race. It has been, well, non-stop is the only thing I could say to that. Oh, Claire, I don't need to know that. Oh no, you mean on the treadmill? Good. I'm glad he's got good stamina. As Robin Taylor again improves a 1:41.272. He seems to have the bit between his teeth at the moment, chasing down Zach Dow. Really chasing him down there. Let's get on with that, because Aston time. Can't help it. Love it. I'm not 85, JR. I wish I was 85. I feel like I'm about 170. You know. Kino's got an... Oh, no. Kino. That is... Right, so Dow's just informed me, which is great to have him there. As you can see, Taylor really harrying, really pushing Zach Dow. Zach Dow's all over the shop. He's going to get a run on him there. Zach Dow goes defensive. Don't touch, boys and girls. As we go into Learcop, I'm going to stay on board because I love the sound. That dull thud. Squeeze that throttle on. So Zach Dow can see just in front of him still. I need to change that view. Just in front of him. That's better. That's better. And if you didn't know what the website was, you can see it on the underside of that wing there. FormulaRacing.co.uk. Hard on the brakes. Oh no, he thought about it. He's just trying to dummy him. He's trying to make Zach Dow overrun in his braking zone. If you look right on the back of Zach Dow's car there, you can't really see it from here. Oh, there you can. COMMSbyCOOPS. Oh, as he goes wide into Cheetah on the brakes into Ingwe. Is this going to be... Is this move going to be complete? These boys are fighting absolute tooth and nail. Again, no inches, no quarter given. And that pushed Taylor out slightly. Zach Dow tries to nip in front of him because he does not want to concede track position in terms of the line that he's taking. So these guys are still absolutely at it, aren't they? Into Growthorne, get that turn in. He's going to get on the throttle early there, and Zach Dow makes a mistake. Probably got on the throttle a little bit too early, and that caused him... Oh, and they're still at it side by side. Look at this. Wow, you boys are serving up some fantastic racing. And Taylor manages to get that move done, but Zach Dow, he wants to get back at him. He doesn't want to let that one go. As you can see, COMMSbyCOOPS, but you can't see my head's probably in the way. Yeah, there it is. Fantastic racing. All the while, these two are having the scrap of their lives. Chris Vining has had his pit stop obviously done and dusted, and he's now got himself a nice 4.3 second gap back. Remember, Chris Vining needs a really positive result tonight to put the pressure on Alfie for next Friday for the last round, if they're both going to be there, of course, because there is a slightly small gathering going to happen with the FRL chaps at Donington Park, which I wish it was Friday. Well, it is Friday. But anyway, 0.4 between these two. That's elongated, but you can see in the background there, Rock COMMS is only 1.5 seconds behind. Tobovsek is still stuck to him like glue in his Ferrari. He's only 0.4 behind. Then we've got a 7.45 second gap back to Volkov, so he's going to need to start eating away at that. Eli's in 7th. Mayers, I've been impressed with him in the Lamborghini tonight. He's still holding 8th place again, 4.9, 4.9. Wow, they're very, very consistent gaps, aren't they? Then again, 4.9 back to Sergio. Sergio's in 9th place. Pit window is closed. If you have not pitted, you will get a huge penalty or be disqualified because you have a 10-minute pit window. And it is mandatory. Anyway, we'll get back on board. We'll have a look at these guys. Where do we get to? So, Sergio's running 9th at the moment. Still leading the AM class. That is exactly what he wants. Edo Cops is 10th. Dewsbury and Filipov's falling down the grid there. So, he's obviously had a slight off. Something's happened with him. Edo's in 10th. Dewsbury, 11th. Second in class for the AMs. He'll be very happy with that. Traction's in 12th. Onishenko is 13th. Third in class for the AMs. Then we've got Dave Goodway. Vilhine is in 15th, 1.8 behind Goodway, and then Amir is all the way back in 16th place. Polovchuk 17th. As this battle for second and third rages on, it's still only 0.4, and all the while Kops and Tobovsek are slowly, well, they're not closing them at the moment, they're holding station, but they're ready, aren't they? If anything happens between these two, they can pounce straight away. Blanchett is in 18th place at the moment still. Kamara's 19th. Filipov is in 20th. And then what we got behind Filipov, Gedman's 21st. Karna is 22nd. 1.4 behind. Then Ian Thompson. That's pretty close between him. Can't take our eyes off this one, folks, as Zakdal, he's now shaping up to have a move, isn't he? Putting the pressure on Taylor now. I love the psychology of it. Do you know how much these guys are sweating? And I don't mean like, oh, it's a bit hot in here. I mean, these guys are going to be absolutely gushing sweat because it's so much hard work. Chris Vining, taking it easy. Fastest lap of the race, 141.172. So we are getting close to breaking into the 140s. Where did we get to? So Thompson's 23rd. Alan Brown, after doing that stop-go 30-second penalty that Dal informed me of, thank you, 24th. Longdon 25th. And Keno, again, after he served... I assume he served his stop-go, he's now running in 26th place, which is not going to please him. The bad news from all of that, ladies and gents, means that Alan Brown, who's currently P2 in the AM class, and look at him, Zakdal all over the back of Taylor this way. Which way is he going? Left, right? Absolutely weaving around on that rear wing just to try and put him off. Kops and Tobovsek are closing in though. They are both closing in. We're going to have a four-way fight for 2 podium positions. I told you this was going to be epic tonight. But anyway, the bad thing for the AM class, well, the good thing for Sergio, the bad thing for Brown is if he finishes down there, he's not going to be in with a shout in the final race of the season. And he will be at Donington as well, Will Brizzle. So this was his chance tonight. So I think he can wave goodbye to the AM Championship, unfortunately. But hey, you've got to be, he's been fantastic all season, hasn't he? So, right, let's have a look back. Not that one. That one. There we go. Let's get up close and personal. Yeah, well, there's still 10 of you in, guys and girls. I really appreciate that. If you haven't pressed like yet, please do. It means a hell of a lot to me. It helps the channel. It gets this... You can't say you are not enjoying this racing. It's more than entertaining, and if you're pressing the like button or if you're subbing, it's going to get this out to more die-hard sim racing fans. And where did that come from? Simon Tobovsek with the fastest lap of the race, a 141.1. Zakdal goes up the inside into Crowthorne. Did that move come off? That's the question, and I believe it did. It did indeed. So Zakdal manages to take second place back from Taylor. Well, I'm waiting for round 3, really, but we've got behind them Rock Cops, we know is really quick, and we've got the quickest man on the track, Simon Tobovsek, in his 100 Ferrari. Well, he's only 0.7 behind him, so we're going to have... Well, I can't say it enough. We've got some brilliant battles going on, haven't we? Amir down in 17th, only 0.3 behind Polovchuk, so that could develop into... Well, it already is a battle, isn't it? And Amir's actually just made that move, so he manages to dispatch of Polovchuk and take 16th place. You guys are all driving extremely well, and this is what I absolutely love about it. The dedication everybody puts in to be able to have races this close. As you can see in front of Zakdal, we've got Chica, so we are now coming into traffic, and I fear, ladies and gents, you've got 3 AM drivers in front there. I'm assuming they're all going to get blue flagged. They're all having their own battle. Look at them. So Vining's made his way through. I said 3 there, I meant 2. Vining's made his way through. There's 2 guys in front of these that are having their own battle. So we know what the rules are in terms of blue flags in GT racing. Blue flag does not mean jump out of the way at all costs. It's not Formula 1, as these guys all follow each other, all follow the same line through there. Let's get on board with him, shall we? Let's get on board with Rock Cops. No dive come up the inside there from Simon to Bovsek. Anyway, so in terms of blue flag rules, we know what they are. You don't have to jump out of the way. The blue flags are giving you a warning that there are quicker drivers approaching. Okay, the rule is then that you have to hold your line. Yeah, you don't jump out of the way. So the gentlemanly thing to do, and what we always try and encourage within Formula Racing League, is you hold your line through the twisties. Yeah, you're not going to jump off the power and cause a crash and be dangerous. When you're on a straight, you can back off slightly if you wish. You could move across the track and indicate if you wish, or at the end of the day, it's up to the quicker driver to find a safe way past. They are the rules. So it's going to be interesting to see what this lot actually do as we're getting right in the mix now. I'm going to go on Helicam so we can see how all this develops. So Zach Dell and Taylor are the kiss. Oh, keep hold of it. Robin Taylor manages to keep hold of it, but he's going to lose another position to Taylor there. And let's see where Bovsek is as well. So we definitely saw Zach Dell and Cops have a little love tap there. And I think Robin Taylor did extremely well to get past the back marker and keep the car on track, because evidently she would have been massively unstable. So Chica is the next one in line. Oh my word. Rob Cox makes the move through Ingwe, and him and Zach Dell, they're both touching as well. So Zach Dell is defending with all his might at the moment, isn't he? Absolutely defending like his life depends on it. But you've got Robin Taylor who comes in, so we've now got 3 wide going into Crowthorne, and all the while you're going to get to Bovsek. Watch him. Oh dear, guys. And they all come together. It's a wide entry into Crowthorne, but obviously it just tighten in there for the racing line. They all come together, and the loser out of that at the moment is Zach Dell, so he's dropped down a couple of places. Taylor's still really fighting for this, and him and Rob Cops, they are touching, aren't they? They are touching each other. Naughty boys. Right, let's see. We can't get much closer than this. And all the while, the smart one, not that none of them are smart, but the smart one in this has been to Bovsek, because he was at the back of this queue, if you remember, and he's been just patiently biding his time, which has been doing very well. And Taylor's got an exclamation mark, so maybe a penalty or something coming his way. That's gone away now, though. So Simon, who currently finds himself in 4th place, he's now got 7 attempts back to Zach Dell, but he's just watching these two. He's not in any massive rush because he can see how they're all driving. Yeah, so he can feel that these two in front are being extremely aggressive. Zach Dell will be as well when he gets back into this. But you've got to think, we're what, 16, 17 minutes left of the race. You know, so they've been racing for a long time, very, very closely. You don't want to be giving that up. Yeah, the ego starts coming into it, because it's not as if, well, these guys are much faster than me, because evidently they're not. They are all together. Look at that. We do get into the 140s. Chris Vine in a 140.812. Well done to you, Chris. And he's just eking out that lead, isn't he? It's nearly 10 seconds now. While these 4, don't get me wrong, I'm loving it. While these 4 have an epic scrap. Let's have a look a bit further down the field in terms of where people are at, whilst you guys get to enjoy this. So Zach Dell still in 5th at the moment. They are so close, aren't they? You know they're going to come together again. Chica's got to get out of the way at some point. You don't want to be the person that causes an issue. So, actually, let's do that. Where is he? Where is he? Let's go on board with Chica. Go on, Chica! Let's see how he gets on as Taylor makes the move up the inside. You can hear Chica's not full throttle there, so now Cops comes up. You can see Bovsek's flashing because he's like, I've got to get through here. Now he's going to lose time, so he's going to be annoyed by that. Remember, Chica doesn't have to get off the line. He's flashed away. Zach Dell pulls up. Zach Dell's going to make a move there. Simon's late on the brakes and took straight back into the racing on. Chica stays out of the way in this bit. Now he gets on the throttle, and that should be letting these guys pass. So Simon, you can see, his pass as we go up towards Learcop, and Zach Dell also manages to scythe his way past. But you can see quite clearly that Simon, Bovsek and Zach Dell have lost time there. But that's racing. That is GT racing. It's just the way it is. They're going to have to work in tandem if they want to close that gap back up now to Taylor and Cops, who are having their epic battle. So further down the grid, Volkov still in 6th place, 4.1 seconds behind Zach Dell. So he's closing him up as well.
Eli is in 7th place. He's a further 6.2 seconds down the road. Mayers is still in 8th. He is having a really good race, actually. Really good race in that Lamborghini. Sergio's holding 9th place nicely and still leading the AM class. Then we've got Edo Kops in 10th. Dewsbury is in 11th, 2nd in the AM class. Onishenko is 3rd in the AM class, 12 overall. Then we've got Traction Dave 13th. Goodway 14th. Vilhena 15th. Polovchuk in 16th. So him and Amir, well, they've been having a good little dice, haven't they? So there's 0.3 between them again. Blanchett 18th, Camara 19th, Filipov in 20th place. And everybody seems pretty well gapped. We've got Gedman 21st, Thompson 22nd, Brizzles in 23rd, unfortunately. Camara, Longdon and Keane bring up the rest of the field. So in terms of close battles, yes, Amir. Come on, let's do it. Amir and Polovchuk. Let's have a look at them. Those 4 that we've just been watching are probably all going to smash into each other now. We'll miss it. But I want to be fair. I want to give people time. So Amir's doing pretty well. Him and Polovchuk will both know they've got really good pace. We'll have to see if this develops into anything else quickly in the live chat. Anything else in there? Stewards inquiry, possible sandbanger for next season, staying AM for Mr. Brown. You never know, mate. That might be the plan. Chica did well. Yeah, he did. He did, mate. That's why I wanted to jump on board of him, so we could see what it felt like to be that person. What it was like to be Chica in that situation. Right, so these two, that's now gapped to 1.5 seconds, so we don't need to be on that anymore. We need to get back to the front. So, what's going on? Oh dear, where's Zakdal gone? Oh, Zakdal's... So, Zakdal seems to have dropped off a little bit at the moment. Love that sound. We've got just under 13 minutes left of this race so far. And they're not letting up, are they? I think Zakdal's probably burnt his tyres out a little bit. So he's dropped off now. He's 1.7 seconds behind Simon. But these two, 0.2 in it. They are not letting up at all, are they? And you have to, again, you have to think it's every part of the track. It's every line you take. Yeah, it's every braking zone. It's every acceleration zone. It's literally everything. Just from the coast, you know, I can't express just how much skill is involved and how intense this is on a Friday evening. Simon's having a good race. I've been impressed with him tonight as well. Right, so they are all... Let's have a look from Simon's perspective. He just wants these two to get closer. Simon wants Kops and Taylor to get really, really close and start getting a bit out of shape so he can take advantage. Zakdal's now 2 seconds behind, so Zakdal... Taylor went really wide then, so into Ingwe. He's going to have to go defensive. He's going to be slow coming out of there. Oh, and you can see Kops had to take evasive manoeuvre there, I think. And again, Taylor runs even wider, so that means our man Simon has now just picked up another place, but he's got a rather angry looking Audi just behind him, and I could maybe foresee something happening under braking here. Is he going to pull out? No. So he got on the brakes earlier. He's looking to get a better drive out of Crowthorne. But the lateral grip on that Ferrari does its job nicely. It goes a little bit wide there on the brakes. No move coming. Zakdal is still 1.8, so he's closed that down a little bit, but Volkov in his Aston in 6th place is now only 3 seconds behind Zakdal. Zakdal does not want to lose another place. I think that would really demoralise him this evening after putting in so much hard work and challenging this guy at the front. So there he is, 10.9, nearly 11 seconds back to Robin Taylor. Chris Vining doing literally everything he can this evening, everything he needs to keep that championship hope alive. And remember, he has won a championship with us before when he had the blue Zebra Aston. If you don't know what that is, you'll have to go back right away on my YouTube channel. Have a look at, just have a look at the playlist really, and you'll find it in there. Nice livery, that one. So who have we got in front now? We've got another back marker they're coming up to by the look of it. That's Chris Gedman. Right, so Mr. Chris Gedman, we have seen how Chica beautifully kept out the way. Well, we're going to see what Chris Gedman does. This is a new feature on the show, isn't it? Right, Chris. This is your time to shine, my friend. Right, onto the start, finish straight. I just love the different angles we can have. So we can get a real feel for the speed, how these guys are moving on track as we come down in towards Crowthorne. And Chris, he's got to be feeling it a little bit. Was that a punt or was that really late on the break? So Simon ends up losing a position there to COMMS. He's trying to fight back, so he did seem to jolt forward a bit there, but I didn't actually see any contact, so I don't know if that was a bit of net cut. I don't know what's happened, but that's brought Zachdale back in. You can see Taylor's flashing Chris now. He's like, come on, man, please get out the way. We've been at this for 51 minutes. Let me by. And Chris backs off the throttle. You can hear that. You can hear him just modulating that throttle, and now he's thinking, well, there's 3 more coming. What do I do here? So COMMS wants by quickly. Chris moves out the way. You can hear he's just being slow on that throttle, which is good. That was good. That was okay, Chris. I was just a bit worried there. A little bit worried, I thought Zachdale was going to try and take a little bit too much. So Chris also shows us that he knows how to be a gentleman when he's under blue flags. So that's a shame. That is a shame for Simon there. We'll see what happens with that a bit later on. We'll see what happens. So Chris Vining way out in front. Taylor's still holding second. COMMS is back onto the podium, so he's going to be very happy with that. Simon's dropped off the podium, but he's up into 4th, so he'll be. That's a bit bittersweet, that one, as they go through cheaters. And again, COMMS goes a little bit wide there. And Zachdale's coming to join the party again. Right, let's have a look at the back of the Audi from this angle. So Zachdale's only 1.2 behind as well, and Volkov, remember I said before, he tends to be quite consistently paced, and then during the end of the race he just explodes and he's just ridiculously fast. He's now only 2 seconds behind Zachdale, so he could very quickly be involved in this fight. There's only about 7.5 minutes left of the race, so if he's going to do that, he needs to start putting some pressure on now. Come on, boys, keep it together. Fantastic fight. Let's see what it looks like. You could just seeing the bumps and all the different nuances of the track, how the cars are reacting, how they're moving around. The back end's bumping around everywhere, and obviously every time the back end's doing that, it's unsettling the car and it's breaking traction. And again, it puts us in a position here where, as we go through the S's, there's just so much going on. You can't comprehend how much your brain has to compute at the same time. To be driving this close to somebody is actually a massive skill in itself. More, I personally believe, being able to drive in this situation cleanly for this amount of time takes more skill than being a hot lap super king. That is just my personal opinion on it. But yeah, as we go up towards Crocodiles again. So I wonder what's going through Taylor's mind at the moment. He knows he's got a second, and now a second doesn't sound like a lot, but especially, well, racing on ACC, a second is comfortable. It is quite comfortable. Doesn't look it, does it? But it is. So these guys are still at it. Zachdale 1.2 behind. Volkov's still 2 seconds. Eli's holding 7th. Maya's holding his own nicely in 8th. Sergio's in 9th. Kopp's in 10th. Dewsbury still 11th. Onishenko 12th. Traction. So Polachuk's moved up another place. He's managed to get a move done on Vilhena. So Polachuk's moved himself up to 15th. And Vilhena and Amir are having a bit of a dice, most certainly. So these guys are just still... They're just not quitting, are they? And Zachdale's back in the fray. Oh my god. The final 5 minutes of this race could be the best final 5 minutes of any race. I think, what am I up to now? It's got to be 80 live streams for commentary within Formula Racing League. And this has all the potential to be the finest ending we've had yet, because they are not giving up, are they? The consistency of these guys is unreal. Live chat, what do you guys think? Hey Coderman, how you doing? How are you doing, Mr. Coderman? Hope you are well. We've still got 11 in with us, which is good. So you can predict the car, there's more to it than just... Yeah, well, I'm agreeing with you, Dale. I think Chris did really well there, as did Chica. Right, so Volkov's now 1.5 behind, so there's exactly a second between Taylor, COMMS, a second between COMMS, Zachdell. Let's just move slightly in that braking zone. Oh dear, I missed that because I was talking to Dow, but Zachdell, a different Dow, Zachdahl, has moved himself back up to 4th. So Simon is having he's having such an eventful race this evening, isn't he? I mean, he's been involved with this fight. He had to really scrap to get onto the back of these three. Did that, then managed to put himself, by being sensible and quite calm, put himself up into 3rd. Then he lost that out to COMMS. I'm not sure if there was contact there or not. And then Zachdahl, after falling back from 2nd to 5th, has obviously, you know, calmed his mind and reset, and he's now back on a charge, moves himself up to 4th. Volkov in that white Aston, he is joining the party. He's only 1.3 behind. Then we've got a rather large gap back to Eli in 7th of 11.5 seconds. Dewsbury is now only half a second behind Edo Cops for 10th place, so I'm sure he'd like to get himself another top 10 finish. This has got to become a move into Leocop. Polovchuk's got himself up to 14th. He's just put a move on Dave Goodway there. That's Polovchuk's making some good progress in the last 20 minutes of this race. The Aston's coming, Simon. I'm telling you, did you not see that? That looked like a tyre off the ground there from that Honda. Zachdell's rear right tyre. That definitely looked, as he went through cheater, that it was off the ground. That is just crazy. So we are in the final 3 minutes of this race, and wow, Rob Cops is getting a bit tasty, isn't he, on Taylor? Remember, Taylor pitted before everybody else, so if we're assuming a tyre wear rate is similar across the board, well, Taylor pitted first, and we know he came out and he banged in 2 fast laps, didn't he? 2 fastest laps of the race as soon as he came out of the pits. Now that may have taken just enough life out of the tyres to mean that the last couple of laps of the race he's maybe losing some performance in them, so we shall see if that does actually happen. So we've got 0.4 between these two, only 0.3 between these two. Oh my word. And all the while Chris Vining is just he's probably having a chat with someone at the moment. He might be making a phone call, texting someone. He's 13.5 seconds down the road. Great race from him. Great race from him. Although I think he'll probably thank all of these guys for having the race they are, because with look at it, with these 5 now having the race that they are, that's obviously allowed him just to push that gap out a little bit quicker. So Simon's getting pretty close again. Now, my question is this, guys and girls. Volkov is evidently on the back of these guys now. So, Konstantin Volkov, what does he do? Yeah, he spent the entire race battling back, and he has now got back. It's the last lap of the race. If there's a move on for him, does he dive and go for it, knowing that all these individuals in front have just been having probably one of the races of their lives, yeah, in terms of proximity and pace and dicing and manoeuvres backwards and forward, all the emotions that they've gone through? Or does he just hold position? Although Simon got a slow exit out of there, and that's allowed him to go up. Well, Volkov's going to go for it. He is going to go for it, no doubt about that. He is going for it, isn't he? So we're on board with Simon at the moment. Let's hope we don't see the car nudge sideways anywhere. He managed to hold that line, elbows out, strong defence. So that is probably his race done. Yeah, he's not going to be able to challenge the guys in front now. So Zachdahl is going to be really happy about that. So Robin Taylor and Mr. Cops, these are the 2 guys that have still got potential move going on. Where's Chris? Where's Mr. Vining?
Right, so Chris, let's watch Chris finish the race. We need to keep an eye on those two in second and third as well. But coming up to Ingwe for the final time, Chris Vining. There you go, ladies and gents. Well done, Chris. You are tonight's P1. You have won this race at Kyalami. Well done. Fantastic race by you, Chris. Great pace all race long. And that's really helped your championship. You did everything you needed to do tonight. Congratulations. Anyway, back to this scrap for second place. And it's going to be a photo finish almost, but Robin Taylor manages to hold off Rob Cops by 0.1 of a second. So well done, Robin Taylor. Eventful race, mate. Brilliant finish from you. And that was something special. That really was special between him and Cops. And Zach Dow finishes 4th in the end, so well done to you, Zach Dow. There's Rob Cops in his 3rd place. There's your podium. Zach Dow finished 4th. He's in the pits. Tabovsek finished in 5th. Well done, mate. Eventful. Massively eventful. Brilliant driving from those 4. Volkov got in the mix at the end. Just fantastic. He managed to have the pace to get back on board with them. Eli, that was a good showing from you, considering it was a late jump in, so well done. And Mayers, really impressed with you in your Lamborghini, actually. Very, very impressed with you. Sergio finishes 9th, P1 in the AM class, so well done, Sergio. That, I think, sews up the title for you today. So you could be pretty happy with that. Edo finishes in 10th place, and then Aaron Dewsbury takes the 2nd step in the AM class. So well done to you. Onishenko impressed in that getaway car. That was a good run from you in that Carbon Aston there. So you finished 3rd in class. And then we've got Polovchuk finished in 13th. Amir 14th. Traction Day finished in 15th. Vilheiner in the Playboy Porsche was 16th. Blanchett 17th in his Audi. Camara in his Playboy Ferrari, he finished in 18th place. Filipov 19th. Christopher Gedman finished in 20th in the end. Chika finished in 19th. And don't forget, Gedman and Chika gave us a perfect lesson in how to get out of the way in terms of blue flags. Alan Brown, unfortunately, got a stop go 30 whilst he was in 3rd in class. And I believe that his challenge for the AM title is finished, unfortunately. Longdon finished 23rd. Kano in 24th. And Keno had a night to forget, I believe, in 25th with a stop go. Was doing alright until that point. But hey, Claire says he's got great stamina. Poznikov did not finish, and neither did Gardby. Well, let's just pop over to the live chat. Blimey, guys and girls, that was intense, right? I mean, not as in camping, but that was intense. And brilliant racing. Chris Vining, fantastic. And those 4 behind, that was some of the best racing I've actually ever seen consistently for 60 minutes. And I'm sure everybody in the live chat will agree with that. Let's have a quick look and see what everybody is saying in there. Dow says, off to get the results. And so, okay, good man, I'll chat to you later. Dow, Michael races in. Hello, mate. Did Dave die? Yeah, died in qualifying, Michael. And then him and Dewsbury had a bit of a dice. And I said you'd probably want Dewsbury to win, and he did. And there you go. Chris wins again, 2 in a row. Chris, brilliant race from him, Michael. But if you get a chance to watch this back, you have to, mate, because the 4 behind were like 0.3, 0.4, all 4 of them, the entire race. Bigger fish. Oh, dear. Okay, well, there we go. Michael's had bigger fish. How did you get on with your big fish? Let me know. And Mr. Vining says, rude. Yeah. Well, we'll see how those guys get on. Chris, well done tonight, mate. Fantastic work. There's still 10 of you in. I hope you all enjoyed that. I certainly did. If you haven't pressed like, you know what to do. We've been on air for, what? Easily 2 hours. I think you've just seen some epic racing. And I hope that's been, well, appreciated by everybody. So next week, we move on to the final round. I think that's at Indianapolis next Friday. I will not be with you next Friday, and nor will half the grid probably, because we're all going to be in Donington. Cheers, everybody. But, we'll be back on Tuesday for the Super Sprints final round. And then the podcast is going to be a special one, actually. It's going to be a Donington special. And then Friday, I don't know if Chromadex will do that or what's going to happen, really. I went forward, that's all we need to know. Good, I'm glad you went forward. Maybe one position then. That's what we're saying. Well, I'll check it out after this, mate, don't worry. But for now, guys and girls, it's been an absolute pleasure. Enjoy your weekends. And, we'll see you next week. So, for now, Congratulations to Chris. Congratulations to Sergio. And everybody else on the podiums. But for now, guys and girls, COMMSbyCOOPS out.